Bore da, dwi'n meddwl na ni'n neud yn siŵr bod offer cyfieithu'n gweithio. I'm just testing to make sure that the translation equipment is working. So, mae'n groesawu chi i'r gwestiwn ma'n Nghaerdydd. Dwi'n gobeithio gawn ni gynhadledd da. A be dyn ni'n trafod yma i ddweud gwir ydy sialens sy'n gwneud i ni fel Llywodraeth y Cynulliad, awdurdodau lleol, ag wrth gwrs cymdeithasau tai. Mae Essex wedi rhoi'r sialens i lawr i ni a mae'n rhaid i ni rwan i ymateb. There's no hands waving, so I assume that it's working. No? Oh! Can you put your hands up if there's problems with translation, please? Okay, I'll carry on, and perhaps if you keep your hands up, then we can sort it out whilst I'm speaking. Today is obviously an important conference, and as Ian was saying, I think the attendance here today shows the extent of the challenge that we all face. What we're anxious to do, working alongside CHC as a local government association, is to make sure that we actually respond to the challenge that's been set down by Essex. I think it's a challenge for the Welsh Assembly Government, it's a challenge certainly for local authorities and also for housing associations. And certainly it may mean that we need to learn more from each other's experiences, but also at the end of the day actually sort of change perhaps some of the ways which we've been working in the past. And obviously given the difficulties that we're facing in the credit crunch, some of the challenges may be even greater than when Sue was actually writing her report, and certainly there's an issue as far as how many or how much of affordable housing is going to be delivered through the Section 106 agreements. So I'm hoping that we'll learn. Obviously we need to have a frank exchange of views, hopefully in the workshop, and the challenge then for us as a local government association, as CHC and the Welsh Assembly Government, is to take up the challenge and really deliver as far as some of these requirements are concerned. I hope the Jocelyn's... Another 5 minutes, oh God. Right. Brian Little, who's manager of Wrexham FC, who are currently playing in the Blue Square Premier, is not for long. Is actually phoned me on the way here and has made clear that for those of you who know Middlesex at all, how many of you know Middlesex? Because I've done we're actually playing at Grays this weekend, which apparently has got the worst ground in the Blue Square Premier. Now, having been to Accrington Stanley at the end of August, I hate to think, so I'm hoping that some invitation will come during the course of the day for me to speak in an after-dinner session somewhere in Pembrokeshire or Carmarthenshire on Saturday afternoon. Seriously. If we go back 2 or 3 years, Welsh local government and CHC, I think we're sort of setting out on a journey. We'd certainly not set up any joint events. There were a number of local authorities who were actually speaking to their housing associations, thank God for that. Well, there's no piano. I mean,
you please sing it?
I am. Actually, seriously, the relationship I think that we built up over the last 2 to 3 years with CHC and its predecessor organisation has brought about a sea change in the relationship, and hopefully it will mean that we're better equipped to actually deliver on the challenge that is before us, because certainly I'm sure my county is no different to any other in Wales, whether it's a rural area facing issues of depopulation and the availability of housing which is within the means of local people, or whether it's in areas such as mine where influx due to the economic sort of situation means that the demand has actually sort of raised prices beyond, you know, levels that my parents would have thought possible 20 years ago, means that we do really have to up our game. I'm also going to say that I think there's also a sea change starting as far as the Welsh Assembly Government is concerned. And I'm hopeful, given Sue's review, and more importantly the response that we've had from the Welsh Assembly Government, that together we can actually tackle this problem. We're still not perfect. I was speaking to some of our affordable housing officers this morning. They were telling me that we're still on quill pens as far as asset management is concerned in some authorities. And certainly I think there are issues as far as the Welsh Assembly Government's own land bank policies are concerned. But I think given the positive relationship that we've got now with Jocelyn, a situation where we feel that we're able to have an open and frank debate with regard to problems that each of the three organisations face, that perhaps we are better equipped than we have been at any time in the past. And in reality, if we fail, then there's going to be a big price to pay. We can't afford to fail. So I'd like to introduce Jocelyn Davis AM, who's the Deputy Minister for Housing, and will be giving the keynote address this morning. I'm not going to say when she attended Newbridge Grammar School. I think, though, that the fact that you were a borough councillor, Jocelyn, means that as far as local government is concerned, there's an understanding in the same way that Sue has that understanding. We felt we had a very strong ally in Sue while she was Minister as far as local government was concerned, and I'm sure given Jocelyn's local government experience that will also be the case. I understand that you're one of the first lay inspectors of schools. I have. And you still continue to have an active interest in special educational needs. But, you know, it's certainly a big challenge that you've got. But together, hopefully, we can meet that challenge.